Hi everyone. I hope you can see my screen, right?
Yes, Bhavdharma.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, Bhavdani, you can.
Yeah, hi everyone. First of all, thanks for joining. So I hope everyone is doing well, particularly in this pandemic situation. And very, very huge and big thanks for everyone to support us for the past 3 months, even though it's a virtual meetup. So everyone keep supporting me and keep supported me a lot. And even though it's a virtual meetup and kind of pandemic situation, you have spent a lot of time with us in order to promote our meetups as well as to attend our upcoming meetups. And for your information, we just started this WAT group 3 months ago only, but we have received a huge support from you all people. So again, a huge thanks from my side as well as my company side. And today we are having your favorite speaker, Kamachi Devi, who is a application architect, and she is going to just going to show a demo about experience bundle deployment for communities, because we everyone have worked in communities, and we might face a lot of struggles because we have tried how to move the community components manually also by using site outcome sites. So we faced a lot of struggles, and there might be a learnings. So from our side, we also going to say how to implement in a right way, like by following our best practices by using the experience bundle deployment. So, and I just want to highlight a few of the things in the upcoming slides. So, I welcome everyone for this meetup. So, this is myself. I'm a business system analyst in MSG Solutions. So, I'm the group leader of Human Tech Group. So, everyone may have a question like why community meetup, why we have to attend. So, I just want to highlight that everyone may have a project works as well as a personal works. Particularly, we are working from home, so everyone will have a particular tight schedules and hectic works. So in this kind of a difficult situation, so if you are spending only 1 hour with any kind of community meetups, with any kind of community groups, what will happen means you obviously you are putting some efforts to improve your knowledge. If you already knew this concept means no worries, you're just upgrading it a little bit. So you are just strengthen your resume by attending these kind of community meetups. And also, I would say kind of fun because we'll be having a lot of quiz activities and share and win contests. So these are the items which we are conducting in order to encourage our volunteers as well as for the participants. So this is just to encourage them in order to attend the community meetups. So definitely it will be really a lot of fun attending the community meetups. Definitely will not bore you, and I will send you a link for about our next upcoming meetups about the winter and Spring 21 highlights. So it will be also really very, very useful tips because nowadays everywhere we are seeing the links and blogs about the winter highlights, spring highlights, but we are not getting enough time to open it and to learn it very, very deeply or some kind of precisely. So the upcoming meetup is also very, very useful. And at the end of today's session, you will be having a quiz. So kindly please do attend. So for this, that will be a really, really interesting one. And I will announce the winners also. So I'm handovering my session to Kamachi Devi, who is a application architect, senior application architect. So she already took a lot of community meetups, particularly in Women in Tech Group. So we got a great feedback from her, from her session. So definitely they will be very, very useful for you and very, very interesting. Thank you. I'm just handovering to Kamachi.
Yeah, thank you, Bhavdharni. Hello, everyone. This is Kamachi. I'm going to present community experience bundle deployment. Bhavdharni, I think participation screen sharing is disabled.
Yeah, I
For me
just
also.
made you
Yeah.
as a co-host. You can try now.
Yes, please. So hello all. In today's session, these are the topics we are going to cover. Our topic is community experience bundle deployment. So far, we deployed community through site.com site, and what is the difference between the previous site.com sites and the experience bundle? All those things we will be covering. So let's see the agendas first. Here are the prerequisites. We are going to see what are the prerequisites and registering site or community, how to register for a community or a site, and enabling experience bundle, how to enable it, creating a sample community, why do we need to create a sample community, and how to create and deploy the community. Finally, about the dependent components. So let's jump on. So yeah, here are the prerequisites. So when you are going to deploy a community or working on a community, you need these items to be in place previous to that, right? You should be ready with all these things. So first thing is registering for a site as a pre-deployment activity. If you are going to deploy a community, you are ready with the community, right? And you are going to deploy to a destination org from source. So that time what we need to do, we should take care of some pre-deployment activity. So if your destination org doesn't have a site or community, so those will be the first step in your deployment as a pre-deployment activity. And you should enable the experience bundle and then add any dependent components to your deployments, and that's why we have that in the agenda. I can explain you later one by one in the slide. And create a sample community. Why do we need to create a sample community means, so some of the dependent classes and the pages will be by default available if you create a sample community, or else you can just give your name, whatever community you are going to deploy, you can just mention the name and create it as a prerequisite pre-deployment activity, so that the default classes will be available and you won't face any deployment errors. Okay, so the next thing is, for successive deployments, you may not need the site or network. If you are only going to deploy anything related to community alone, if you already deployed it, you can just keep the file like experience folder alone. Okay, let's see one by one. Okay, so first thing is register for a site. So if your destination org doesn't have a site, you need to go to the site setup and then register for your domain. If you don't do this step right, you will be facing the following error. So these might be some of the errors you might expect if you didn't enable a site. That means you are going to do the community for the first time in the destination org. And then register for a community. So registering for a community is through setup communities and community setting. You will have to register your domain again, and then you will have the community settings available, like whatever we do with the sites. The community will also need a domain. Okay, so because whenever you create a community, sites will be automatically created for you, because community can be a public or like a portal. And enabling experience bundle. So these are the ways you can go to set up communities and then community setting. You will see this option experience bundle to be enabled. Okay, so this should be enabled. And if you didn't enable this step, right, so you didn't have this option in your destination org, you may face all these errors. So you will face, experience bundle is a group together with all these folders, roads, views, branding sets, themes, and config. So all these together will not be available for you, right? So first of all, we need to know what are all these, right? So earlier we were using site.com sites like that I told you earlier. So site.com site is not a human readable. So now that is converted as a human readable format, and that's how we have ended up with all these features, right? The folders. You will have roads, views, branding set, themes, and config. All these are the human readable formats of your community. And creating a sample community. So as I already mentioned, if you don't have that sample community or sites already, you will not have that set of Apex classes or something like. you will see the community landing pages, password setup page, registration page and all, right? So those will not be available. So you will end up with the following error. Okay, this is one of the prerequisite. And moving on to the next one, retrieving. How to retrieve a community? So there are several ways you can retrieve community, right? So either you can add a chain set. And then while adding to the chain set, right, you will see site.com, network, and community site. And all these available in the chain set itself. You can retrieve it, but this will be site.com sites format. This is not, again, a not human readable format. So if you, in order to retrieve experience bundle, right, you should go with this package.xml and either retrieve through Workbench or through Ant, you can retrieve it. Okay, so you need always have the package.xml to retrieve the experience bundle. Okay, so and here is my example. If I want to retrieve my community, so my community is my community name, and I have to retrieve this means I need to mention custom site, my community, and then network. So this is the site, force.com site, and this is the community. I have to retrieve. I mean, these two are for if I have any site settings available for my community, or I have network settings. Those in those time I have to retrieve these two, and then experience bundle for the site.com site readable format, right? The experience bundle. So you will have routes, again branding set and everything in it. And then dependent components. Why do we need a dependent component? Is because your community only is not like a public open URL. It will have some VF pages or a component or components. It may be. It may involve some other dependent components, right? It may be a record page, custom record page, and you have some custom functionality to it, LWC or RO and everything. So all those things are dependent to a community, to your community, right? So in that scenario, you need to add your dependent components also to your deployment. Okay, so here's a sample. So in my community, if I'm using content asset, like I have some image to be displayed in my homepage, that time I might have content asset files, or else you may have a static resource. For example, in Aura, right, I have a Aura. I displayed my lightning component in the community page, and that Aura has a static resource. So that time I should add both in my deployment for the first deployment, right? So this is the first time I'm going to deploy. So I need to add all the dependent components as well as the experience bundle, site.com, sorry, sites, as well as network. Okay, so network, I'll show one by one in the demo. So yeah, and then let's see a quick demo on the all items that we discussed here. How to retrieve a community changes from source R, commit the changes, and deploy to the target R. Okay, so
Sorry, questions you would take it at the last, or we ask in between?
um, yeah, if you have any questions, let's have it after the demo so that you will have some clear idea, right?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you for your patience. And so let me go one by one. So in the community, go to setup and then you will see communities. And earlier, if I do not have any communities here, right, I won't see this option. So I have to enable the community to see all these available settings. So the settings is here. I have already registered for a domain and it is available. So enable experience bundle API, I have enabled it. This is my sandbox and this is my production. So I'm gonna deploy my demo community from sandbox to production. Okay, so this is the main thing we need to enable to retrieve through experience bundle from your sandbox, right? And then one more thing is the site.com. If you enable the site.com, sorry, force.com sites, you will see your communities. For every communities, your community pages will be created here. So in the site also. Now let me show how my community is available. So your community administration settings will be available in the workspace, and your builder, whatever in the builder, right, that will be retrieved in your experience bundle. So under the workspace, you will have administration. So all these settings, right, these settings will be available in your community file. So this is how your experience bundle will look like. This is the package.xml, and this is my demo community. So all these folders will point to the builder settings. Whatever I do with the Lightning community builder, I can retrieve through these set. And whatever I do with the workspace, right, in the administration setup, like login and registration or member setup, everything will be available under the network. So network is nothing but the community administration setup. You will have all the settings here. Either you can enable a community, like you can activate a community, or you can see the status of the community here. Like if it is deactivated, it will be down for maintenance. If it is live, that means active. Okay. So and the sites, right, site settings can also be handled from here. So let's see one by one what are all there in the experience folder. In the branding set, so whatever theme, color, or some login color, background color, everything color related branding items, branding related changes will be handled through this branding sets. You will have your JSON over here, and the config files. So whatever in the login page, main app page will be related to the pages. So let's see one first, the views and the roots. Views and roots are the same folders. If you create a new page in your community, you will see the views here. Say for example, I have a page one. Let me show you here. Let me go to the experience builder. I have the page one. So I have created a page one here, and I have a calendar over there. So whatever you created there, right, in your sandbox, if you retrieve, yeah, you will see a view as well as a root with the same name. Page1.json will be available in the roots, as well as page1.json will be available in the views, because views is nothing but the user interface, and the roots, right, roots will be your page access. So what, sorry, let me go to there. Yeah, you will see the page settings, right, properties. So those are the roots, and views is nothing but whatever you have it in your UI, like what is visible in your page, that is handled through views folder. Okay, so if you see, the calendar is a component that is available, so you will see this block. Okay, and yeah, so I already have these two. So this is my production, I mean destination mark. If I open page one, it is already available there. So if I want to remove this calendar, so I'm removing it. And I'm going to add some maybe rich content editor. I can add some component over here instead of, for a change. Okay, so I'm just adding it. You can edit the content. Okay, so whatever you change in your sandbox, you don't need to publish. You can even retrieve without publishing, because if you publish, it will be go to live, right? So if I don't want to do it publish, but I have to retrieve it, then it will work. There is no issues. But in your destination org, right, once you deploy, you need to always publish to see the changes in your live instance, I mean live community. So I didn't publish now, but I'm going to retrieve it. Yeah, so it's retrieved now. Let's go and check it out. So right now I did some changes over the page one, right? So the page one content is changed from calendar to rich text inline editing. So this is the change I did, and it is retrieved. Now what you have to do, you just copy these changes, or this part if you are very much good enough, like you are making sure like this is the one I added, then you can just copy that and then paste it, no issues. So I am just going in to my production, I mean the destination org, and choose the view page one.json. I'm going to choose all page one. Okay, I'll validate to make sure it is working fine. Sometimes you may ended up with some errors, right? So those are not very clear. It may give you some error ID, but if you look into some issues, right, maybe you might have dependent components and you missed it. So that will also give you error. So you can just think about it, like what is your last change and why may be the error. So you can think about it to resolve the issue. So yeah, it is deployed. Let's see whether it is reflected. So, and I didn't publish it yet, so it will not go live. Yeah, my page one still have the calendar. Now I'm going into the builder. So always when you are in production, make sure you are switching off the deliverability. Even system email only will give you the message like community is published, right? So I will suggest to make no access and then quickly deploy it. Yeah, publish it. Before publishing, just oh, okay, I didn't deploy, I guess. Let me
You
check.
just validated it.
Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, I need to deploy it. Okay, successful. So now I'm going to publish the change. So your changes got published. Now if I refresh, yeah, my changes got reflected. So this is how we will use to retrieve and publish, right? These are the steps we need to make sure. Now, there are few things we need to make sure. If you are in a views, right, and you are having some custom pages, say for example this record detail. So this record detail may have some custom object detail page also. That time you may have the detail hyphen the object id, I mean the first three object prefix, right? So that will be available. So when you are moving to your destination org, you should make sure that particular um, destination org object prefix is updated here. So I personally faced these issues. So I just would like to uh, share that with you. And yeah, one more thing. So always this view, right? View will have the view type. And then if you go to the, I mean, what page I am in, record list.json. So I need to check the same thing, record list.json under routes. So under routes, I will have the same route type and the page access. So you should match this name with the view type. So otherwise you may have some error. So there are few errors like this you may uh, expect. So sometimes in your retrieval, your name might be having some large values, like something appended to it, right? So that time if you face error with your route type or view type, it will be easy for you. Like you can just identify it. You will be ended up with some particular id. So you just go and search from here. You put the id here so that you will identify what was the issue. If it is on the root type, you may check whether the matches are available. And then sometimes your page access might not be retrieved. So that time also you will face some error, like your page access should be there. So the errors will be sometimes clear, like that will be clear for you, but sometimes it will be not clear. So you need to analyze what you have done previously and then proceed further. Okay. And one more thing, this id, right, main app page id, this id will be available in all your sub pages. So here, like this. And let me quickly show one more thing. So right now what we did in the existing page, we have just updated some content and deployed, right? I will show you how to retrieve the new page and add it to that. So to create a new page, I'm choosing some standard page and a blank page. I'm choosing one full width column. So here, so I'm creating page 2 in my source arc. So once you created, if you set up some page access here, that will also be retrieved. So that is the page access. And yeah, I can add some content over here now. So let me add calendar here. Okay, so I just completed adding a page. Now what we can do, this is production. Okay, let me go to my sandbox and retrieve. So in the experience folder, yeah, so far you have only page 1. Once it is retrieved, you should see the page 2. It is success. Yeah, page 2 is available. So as I already mentioned, right, if you create a new page, if you are going to deploy a new page, you will see this page 2 here in the views folder as well as in the routes folder. So I need to copy both. If I don't keep this page 2 in the route, you will definitely get an error in through the deployment. So let me quickly add it. I'm going to add the view.json for page 2. Okay, then I'm done with my commit. Now we just go to, this is prod, right? Yeah. I'm going to deploy this now. So let's validate again.
Just a small question regarding the prefix. You said like for the in the view type we will get that prefix for the custom objects only. It would be there.
Yeah, for the custom objects related files.
Can you just go to that specify like where it would be that prefix should be available? So it might be possible like the object prefix would be different in different orgs. So we'll have to update that one.
I can show you one example if I have in my system quickly. So yeah, that's a good question. So I'm deploying it. My validation is succeed. Okay, successfully deployed. Meanwhile, it got opened. Yeah. So I told you, right? I have some example here. Your view type will have the object prefix here. And this is the page about engagement object. So engagement object is my custom object, and this page, this is particularly for engagement detail page, record detail. Okay, so likewise you will have record list view as well as related list. So all those view types, right, those will have the object prefix over here. That
Thanks.
that's yeah. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. But but this catch we will have to also take care. Like the object ID is the same. It should not be like the object ID means we mess up the IDs and it causes deployment issues.
Exactly. Yeah. If you change this ID, it should match your destination. If that is different, then you will face some error. And that error you may not understand, right? This error, especially, you will not understand. It will say like something other than view type. It may be. I don't remember exactly, but we face that error. So let's see whether deployment is done. So this is my destination arc. I'm refreshing it. Yeah, I could see my page too. So that's it. I deployed another page, and let's see. I'm going to publish it. So right now we deployed page 2, right? So I'm just opening it. Here we go. It's done. And that's all about this session. Just now we see how to retrieve and commit and deploy. Let's move on to the question session. So here is the reference link. You can go to the Salesforce community metadata second bundle and make sure you're aware of all those documentations. Any questions, team?
I think there's one in the chat.
Let me stop share. So yeah. do we need to create sample community for each community? Example, if we need to deploy 3 community. No. So yeah, that's a good question. Whenever you are going to deploy for the first time, right? So let me quickly share again. Mm, mm, mm. Yeah, so if I don't have any community here, right, you will not see some of the pages like, yeah, communities, login, controller test, all these are some pre-required classes. Otherwise, either you can include all these in your deployment, but when you create it, right, it will automatically be created. At least if you create one community, sample community, it may be your community itself. Whatever you are going to deploy, right, the same community, you can just add it. That's fine. But if you have a community, then all these prerequisite classes and the dependencies will be available for you to avoid some errors. Can we deploy multiple communities at once? Yeah, that is possible. But main thing is you should not leave your dependent components in your community deployment. Each communities might have some dependencies, so you should have it in your deployment folder, source folder. Okay, so it's for initial setup. Yeah. Can you also explain about setting live, which you showed in demo? Okay, so you cannot make a community as active through deployment because I will say you that that's a good question. So if I make this community as inactive, right, and I cannot deploy it. If a community is in inactive status, I cannot deploy a community. That's a good one. So you should have it always keep active. That can be a manual step. Can we deploy community by using Copado also? I'm not sure about Copado. For the community particularly, do we have any max limit for communities? So far, I never faced any limits in community. I don't think there will be a maximum limit for a community. It depends on your org setup, right? Your license. After making any changes in the source, do we need to move all the dependent components? Yeah, once you are done with your source setup and everything, you have to add your components to make sure everything is ready for your deployment. Otherwise, you may face any errors. You can adjust it accordingly. If your dependent components are missing, you can just identify through your deployment error. Oh, okay, 100. Okay, that's great. I think someone has mentioned it is 100. Limitation for community to have is 100. Thanks for letting me know. So
Actually, it's visible here itself in the bold of below communities.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yes,
notice
that's
this.
right. It's
That's
100.
a good question.
This is Jnana from Salesforce. Yes.
Okay, that's great. I never noticed this earlier.
Everything has a limit in Salesforce. We all know, right?
Yeah.
For a good reason.
I think we can start the quiz session. I will send the link in the chat.
There was a visibility related question. Someone had asked visibility. If you go up, is it Ankit?
Visibility related
Yeah,
question.
Yeah, the question was like we have page variations. So how would page variations be deployed? But I think so the tags which I mentioned and that rendition condition one found out, I think that should be able to pick up those conditions.
Are you talking about audiences?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is a metadata type called audience and also experience variation. So you'd probably have to look into the metadata API. So I'm pasting the link to the metadata API. Is it only me or anyone hearing anything?
Yeah.
I
We are
think
just able to hear.
Okay.
so. Everyone is attending quiz. I think so. There is a link.
I have to abstain from quizzes because I work for Salesforce. So please carry on.
That's great. Thank you for your support.
I have actually a question. Means on the question quiz that you have mentioned.
What was the question?
Uh, regarding adding the profile and permissions to community through experience bundle metadata.
Mm-hmm.
So on that the page, if you look at the meta XML, it was mentioned like for which how it will be restricted in the site. Okay, is it talking about the just the, through the site and all we get those things?
Yeah, that's a tricky one.
Since from Salesforce, may I know your name, sir?
You can drop the sir part. My name is Jnana Segaran. I work
Okay.
with Salesforce here in Switzerland.
No, okay, no, just asking like, do we have any means like Kahoot? We had one site, so we can have in future all the quiz related stuff on those platform. Like we have the Kahoot. I think Philip Oze had created the one site, I guess.
Yeah, Ozil has created, I mean, the package is available on GitHub, so you should be able to install in any DE org. Oh, is that does that answer your question?
Yeah, the thing is like it's on currently the quiz that is available is on the Google Forms only.
Yeah, I understand. But have a look at the source code that Philip Ozil has made it public on his GitHub. You should be able to just deploy into
Actually,
any DE org.
actually, I'm not part of the group leader stuff. I'm just an audience.
Yeah, me too. So it's Philip source that package. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes.
yes, Bhavadani.
Okay. Yeah, I have closed the quiz responses. So the top scorer is Saurav. So he's a winner.
Cool. What does
Congrats,
he get?
He got
Chocolate?
7. Yeah, we will send these bags. And I will post the feedback form.
And I would like to personally thank everyone for joining the session. I hope the session is helpful for everyone. So if any question, please feel to ask anything.
Yeah, we love to hear feedback from you all guys, because you experience how this meetup was and how useful it was. I hope we didn't wasted your time.
Personally, it was an interesting meetup for me. Personally, I have not attended any of the meetings in India. So it was good to see. It was a bit fast for me, but I guess this is all developer focused meeting, and experience bundle is one of the exciting things that we thankfully made it all ASCII and not binary. Thanks.
Thanks
Yeah,
for your
thank
wonderful
you so much.
feedback. I hope you got the link to submit the feedback. If you want to submit it, please submit your feedbacks in the link. And again, our upcoming meetups is about the enhancement of Winter 21, sneak peek of Spring 21. So please try to attend that. That will be a really helpful and useful session. And thanks for joining. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you and bye.